Last week, reports came out that Raja Jackson accepted a plea deal connected to his assault case involving Psycho Stu and is expected to serve 90 days in jail. Raja will also reportedly pay more than $80,000 in restitution along with 2 years of formal probation. Then last night, while Rampage and Adrian Broner were live streaming together, Raja briefly joined and spoke on the situation himself.
Hey, yeah, I'm going to jail.
For what? You ain't see it? How long you gotta do?
Wait, that's all. We can't talk about
that. But you are going to jail. Down the streets, bro. I know. You already dirty enough. Get this.
Hey, justice was served.
No.
I
need your lawyer.
No. He need to learn.
No, but are you serious?
No. You need to learn. You need to learn. What do you mean? Hey, we'll talk about that later.
He basically telling you, go sit your
You do got a W lawyer though. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
W lawyer.
You got a good lawyer.
No, facts.
You had a good lawyer, yeah.
Justin Gatesy thinks I got way too emotional during the White House press conference where Ilya had a heated exchange with Josh Hogan.
Deixando Ilya falar por vocês.
It's funny because he's very emotional, so that was good to see. He got emotional when, although I do get emotional defending my friends as well. So, but you can't let another man control you like that. Never.
Shawn Strickland and Ariel Helwani went back and forth last night after Ariel criticized Shawn for all the trash talk aimed at Hamzat Chimaev before UFC 328, especially after Shawn later claimed it was mainly to help promote the fight.
You talked about his religion. You talked about his mom. You talked about his family. You win that fight and tell the world that was all for show? That was all for promotion? That is the biggest bunch of bullshit that I've ever heard. That is fraud. That is cowardly. I have always said that, and Shawn's a big boy, and I think he can handle this. You cannot do what he did and say what he did in the build up to that fight and then tell us seconds after the fight is over, I was just trying to sell the fight. Yeah. You can't do that. You cannot walk that back. That's family. You called his mother you called his religion awful things. That doesn't go away, I'm sorry. And all that tells me is, you're not who you say you are. And I thought on Thursday and Friday, he is exactly who he says he is, because he stood there and said it all from his chest. I always said Matt Serra versus Matt Hughes, the culmination of that feud, was the most disappointing thing of all time. Those two guys hated each other. And at the very end, they hugged it out and said, we're all good. Remember the build up to that? Oh, yeah. It was venomous.
Shawn responded to the clip on X. He wrote, "This is why I never do media with him. You're a leech I've never respected. From the moment I met him, I already knew what kind of person he was. At the end of the day, the hate between us was real. What he said about me was wrong, and what I said about him was wrong. That's what hate and anger do to people, but through blood we gained respect for each other." He continued, "And I'd never expect someone like him to understand that. You are and always will be a pathetic MMA leech who's done nothing except criticize men better than yourself." Shawn also said Ariel once personally thanked him for supporting Israel after the October 7th attacks, and he still stands by that support, although his views later changed over time. Shawn added that it stopped feeling like hostage rescue and became collective punishment against women and children. He also said the AIPAC joke likely upset Ariel because of how strongly he spoke about support for Israel. Shawn ended it by calling Ariel weak once again and saying he'll continue avoiding him. Ariel Helwani later responded live on his show, and here's what he had to say.
To suggest that I'm leeching off of him or the sport is absurd. When I started this sport, Shawn, and I have to give him, started covering this sport, I have to give him another history lesson because he's only come on the show Twice. The first time he said he loved it. The second time he came on and said, you know, I'm not the guy who goes to the bar and hangs out with his friends and watches MMA. And I reminded him that I've been covering this sport since he was in his father's nutsack, since he was in the 3rd grade. I reminded him of that. Him trying to disparage me just because I was critical about his banter, not his fighting style, but his banter, just because I was critical of things that he said about the people that I supposedly hate, right? I supposedly hate Muslim people, but I'm saying that I thought that that was out of bounds. That makes me an MMA leech. I never was. A guy who can't talk about it because I've never walked that walk. It's absurd, just like a lot of the things that he says are absurd. I didn't even know about the 8-pack line. I had no idea. When did he say that? Before the fight, after the fight? I very much don't listen to a lot of these things. I did hear him in the cage immediately after the fight talking about, I apologize about this, that, and the other because it was happening. You think I'm watching all that other stuff? No. They send me clips. They say we should talk about this, that. Where did he say about that? Couldn't give two. And I don't agree with every single thing, just like he probably doesn't agree with every single thing that the American government does. I don't agree with every single thing that the Israeli government does or any government does. But that doesn't mean I don't support and back my people. This is nonsense. This is the same type of that Bilal tries to do as well. We're talking about one thing here, and now you're trying to make it about something else. Has nothing to do with that, man. But I understand you're trying to, you know, you're trying to align with the people right now. You're the people's champion. I understand that. Never said that he wasn't a good fighter. Never said that, you know, he was a bum. Never said anything like that. I just don't think that you need to talk about X, Y, and Z and then apologize for it in the immediate aftermath. That's it. If that bothers you, if that makes you feel some sort of way, then all right.
Hamzat Chimaev's brother says Hamzat's body completely shut down during the weight cut for the Shawn Strickland fight. According to him, Hamzat originally had an agreement to fight Yuri Prochaska at 205 before the UFC later offered him the Shawn fight instead. He also claimed Hamzat got as heavy as 231 pounds during camp and was still around 214 pounds just 2 weeks before the fight. Speaking with Sports.ru, Hamzat's brother explained that the weight cut became a serious problem. They had to decide whether to cancel the fight or risk continuing. He said when Hamzat only had 1.2 kilograms left to cut, his body started shutting down from oxygen deprivation and they had to stop everything for nearly an hour because his health wouldn't allow him to continue. Hamzat himself reportedly admitted he didn't even know how he would fight in that condition. His brother said there was already a UFC agreement in place for him to face Yuri Prochaska at 205, but the promotion later switched it to Shawn instead. Because of that, Hamzat chose to cut from 105 kilograms, or 231 pounds, all the way down to 84 kilograms, which is 185 pounds. By fight night, he had only regained around 11 to 13 pounds. He also revealed that Hamzat weighed 97 kilograms, or 214 pounds, just 2 weeks before the fight. According to him, they've already asked for a rematch with Strickland and want it to happen in Abu Dhabi this October. He said Hamzat isn't the type to move on to another division while leaving unanswered questions behind, and right now their main goal is getting that second fight. Shawn Ali also admitted recently that he feels like he's slipped a bit over the past year.
To describe, it's like sometimes when I say something without saying something, it means a lot. And a lot of people are saying I fall off. I fell off. I've been saying I fell off. Champ. Main event. The man. Get knocked down, lose a fight. It's okay. Hey, we're co-main. It's okay. We'll come back. Win a fight. It's just get knocked down again. We're Coco. We're Coco main. Yeah. Now we're not even getting asked questions at the press conference, and we're falling off bad, Goo. And it's okay. You know, my spirit is still higher than Snoop Dogg right now. So,
but dude, we're not. Listen, I will say this though about the White House press conference. Then maybe we can get back to some of the prelims because we'll talk about the big first.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. That's how we do it.
The White House card. Listen, O'Malley doesn't get a question because they're focused on asking Pereira questions. I don't really mind. But if you're focusing on asking Kyle Dorcas too many questions and skipping my
was that Robbie Fox?
That's when I have a problem.
Was that Robbie Fox that did that? Was he trying to think, oh, this will be good, I'm going to ask Kyle a question? But in my defense, in my defense, Goo, the press conference got cut a little short. There was a bunch of fans standing in line for questions, they were like, hey, Sugar, I got one for you. I could just feel it. I feel like there was 7 questions about to be asked in a row about the Sugar Show. And I was about to answer. No, dude, you know what's funny? Going into the press conference, I'm like, I don't really have anything to say. Amen, cool. 7-5. Like, I had nothing to say. In my mind, I'm like, I don't really want to I didn't really give a to get asked a question because there were so many stars on the board, on the thing. And it's like, the less I could say, the better. Didn't have anything to say. Didn't really care. So the way it all played out was...
Zabit Magomedsharipov last UFC fight was a unanimous decision victory over Calvin Kattarback in 2019. It was recently announced that Zabit signed with ACBJ and will make his return to competition later this year. In a recent interview with ACBJ, Zabit said he feels the UFC never truly wanted him to become champion because there were already multiple Russian champions in the promotion at the time. He explained that the UFC didn't want another Russian champion since Khabib and Petr Yan already held titles back then. Zabit said before those guys became champions, the UFC promoted him very heavily, but later things changed. He added that there were several reasons behind his retirement. Zabit said he wanted to keep fighting, but his bouts kept getting postponed over and over again. He talked about cutting weight, going through full training camps, traveling to America, and completing the entire process just for the fight to fall apart again. Then only a few weeks before the fight, he'd be told his opponent was injured and the matchup was postponed again. He said this happened around 5 different times, forcing him to restart training camps repeatedly until he eventually got burned out. Zabit also claimed there was an understanding that if an opponent pulled out a 3rd time, he'd automatically receive a title shot. According to Zabit, those conversations did happen, but the UFC later came up with more excuses and started offering him different opponents like the Korean Zombie. In his opinion, the real contenders back then were himself and Rodriguez. Meanwhile, Ronda Rousey once again criticized Hunter Campbell and revealed she once approached him and Dana White about fighting Gina Carano, but says Hunter doubted the fight would do well because both women are older now.
Were you disappointed when it didn't work out with the UFC? When you brought this to them, you said you brought it to them and it didn't work out. Did you feel like that was a blow after everything you did? You were the biggest star, all that stuff. Did you feel for a moment, wow, I can't believe this is not coming to fruition?
No, it wasn't personal, you know? Well, with Hunter, it was personal because he was just a asshole about it.
How was he? Can I ask? Like, what did he say to make you feel this way about him?
He was just being such a chauvinist prick. And he was being so dismissive and like being like, just trying to get me and Gina to value ourselves less from the get-go and acting like this isn't the greatest thing that has fallen into his lap and fun since he's been there. And he was like, oh no, you guys are just so much older and I just don't know how it's gonna do. And I'm like, who the f is this guy? First of all, I didn't even know who he was. I thought he was told me he's the lawyer that's gonna come and show you your pay-per-view numbers. So I'm like, fine, I don't care. Like, I'm gonna knock this out of the park. Like, I love being, you know, having my pay be performance based. Like, I'll go show you. But then he was starting. Dana mentioned like because he wanted me and Gina to fight for the 145 title because it was vacant and it's a way to retire the belt. And then Hunter's like, yeah, but then we can get rid of that division. And like, just the way that he spoke of it, of like how like dismissive he was and like the disdain that he had for the fighters of that weight. And I'm like, well, my husband's 6'7". My girls are not going to be 135. Like, this is what you think? Like, women that are heavier than 135 pounds, like they can't offer you anything, that they're worthless, that they're worth scoffing at. And I didn't, it just really like rubbed me the wrong way that like this guy is the person that's going to be like shepherding the company that I helped build.
Mike Perry and Nate Diaz did a face-to-face interview last night ahead of their Netflix fight on May 16th. During the interview, Nate called out Hamzat Chimaev and Shawn Strickland over all the drama surrounding their fight, especially after the two later hugged and shook hands afterward.
But I saw highlights of them hugging and shaking hands right off the bat the whole time. It's like you just bullshit me. I ain't bullshit, but I keep it real all the way through. That's what I got out of that fight. I didn't watch it, but I saw the highlights and I saw feedback on it, and I saw the war that was
a lot of things
bullshit to us.
Yeah. You wouldn't do
like,
that,
you don't
right?
gotta bullshit me. I'm gonna watch. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I was sitting there bullshit. But
a bit of what Strickland said afterwards is that, you know, that they kind of shared that moment. It did sell the out of it, the that they were saying beforehand, but
keep selling all the way through them, mother. We're not friends or anything like that, but I'm not gonna play around and make no fake artificial beef with you. I think you're great. I think what you're doing is great. I think you're violent, you're mean, and all that. Get ready to fight, train hard, win, and get up just like I know you're playing up my stuff. And I'm not gonna put no artificial beef out there. Okay, it's all
Where
good.
do you think
it's all
you beat
good.
me at?
I just think, I'm gonna.
Dana White revealed that several UFC sponsors have contacted him over the years asking him to fire Joe Rogan, but he says he refused every single time.